Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where I talk about a song and a memory it gave me for the next 28 days. And for day 21, I'm going to talk about a song called Tones of Home by Blind Melon. You may be wondering why I'm not talking about a certain other song like No Rain, which everybody knows. Everybody who knows who Blind Melon is knows that song. Well, the reason I'm talking about Tones of Home is because uh, it's just a lot more easier to talk about, and I feel that No Rain gets a little too overplayed to the point where even though Tones of Home is from their first album, I just prefer their second album a lot more, mostly because it's a lot darker than I thought it would be. And I would have actually talked more about, talked about Galaxy, but I just decided to do Tones of Home because it reminds me of my first year of college. Like in high school, I got a little bit into Blind Melon because of again Galaxy. I kind of got into it, and I kind of fell away from No Rain after a while because again overplayed on the radio. Everybody knew it. Then Galaxy comes along in my life. I'm like, oh, where has this been? And I'm like, okay, this is actually pretty good. And then eventually, when I was in my first year of college, I used to go to a computer lab like really early in the morning before classes, and I just go, okay, I'm gonna go over YouTube and see what's what. And then I see this certain video, and it was a precursor to the B Girl video, which was No Rain. And I saw it, and I thought, oh, this is pretty good. And then I heard the song, and I'm like, oh my god, this song is actually pretty good. I actually really do enjoy the song because you remind hearing that song again after a few years. It reminds me of like that crisp September fall, that crisp September mornings, those crisp September mornings. Sorry, those crisp September mornings. Sorry, I can't even pronounce that properly. Say that properly. Those mornings where I would just like go in the computer lab and just listen to it. And it took like I did it for about a couple of months, and then I moved on to another Blind Melon song. But it just reminds me of like my first classes with my classmates who were in the same program as I am, and they were just as weird, but we were just as committed. And that song just reminds me of the mornings, like the hours before that first class, and it just felt so nice to hear, and it feels so like what's the word? Not what was it? Peaceful and soft and pretty hippie. It sounds hippie. It's not a bad thing. It does sound hippie, but that's what I really like about it. It sounds so like peaceful, and it's the guitar solos are just so pretty much complex. Not complex, but it does gets the job done. Everybody gets the momentum that they have, and this song just reminds me of the good times. Just like when I talked about the Fixer by Pearl Jam, it just reminds me of like the whole like optimism. It gave me optimism in the morning. Well, like for that small part of the morning, and then it's like, oh my god, this is actually a damn good song. And then that song actually delved me deeper into other Blind Melon songs. And here's the thing: if I heard, if I actually listened to Led Zeppelin a lot more during this period, I would have straight up loved Led Zeppelin 3. I mean, I love it now. Led Zeppelin 3 is my favorite Led Zeppelin album. But if I bought Led Zeppelin albums back when I was in college instead of years later, I would have loved the third album because I really like Blind Melon, and I really like that that folk um hippie, kind of hippie-ish throwback to the 70s. In a way, it's psychedelic, just like Led Zeppelin at some places, and I really enjoyed that. And like Songs of Home, one of my favorites because it actually, again, reminds me of my first year of college, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. Like it reminds me of the friends I made. It reminds me of like how happy and joyful I was back then, and it just reminds me of just the whole experience of, you know, not the whole experience, but college in general, just being so amusing and like friendly. The environment was friendly, and it was just a all around good time for me back when I kept hearing it over and over again from September. to Late November. Yes, I pretty much at least listen to that song once a week every day for those months. And then I kind of dropped off about it because, then them Crooked Vultures came along and just destroyed me. Like that album was my 2000. That album that came out was both my 2009 album and 2010 album because I love that album. But before that, it was Blind Melon pretty much a lot of the time, and it's actually a really decent song. If you haven't heard any other Blind Melon song, I suggest you go for it. Start with Tones of Home. You've heard No Rain. In fact, you know what? I suggest, listen to a few songs from the first album and then listen to their second album, um, which is called Soup, which everybody who likes Blind Melon will say that Soup is the superior album. And I agree. From the songs I've heard, I really like it. I love Galaxy. But this isn't about Galaxy, even though I want to talk about it, and I should have, but, I want to talk about Tons of Home because it actually gave me a feeling of optimism, just like the Pearl Jam song, The Fixer. And, that's pretty much it. That's all I want to say, because if you haven't listened to that song, it actually is a really good jam. So, yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you another time. Thank you.